Oh boy. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay. Let's get this going. Started. Alright. I think we're live. We are live. Quick sound check real quick. Hello everybody. Hello. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? What is it? Thursday. It's Thursday. Thirsty Thursday, y'all. Let me just make sure we're good to go. Let's see here. Just make sure that that the sound is good. If any of y'all are in the chat, let me know if the sound is good. Just want to make sure before we get started that we are good to go audio wise. You know, in the last one we had a few problems. Alright, I think we're good. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Latino Connection. I'm the Latino Nerd. We got a lot to talk about. Well, not a lot to talk about. We got March Madness started yesterday. We got a released footage of Aquaman, and we got Fastlane predictions all happening today. Yay! But I want to get something off my chest real quick regarding college basketball. As you know, it is March 2nd, 2017, and every March, in every glorious year on this planet, on this country, we have what is called March Madness, where conference champions, universities and colleges alike, compete in a tournament to determine from the major to mid-major conferences who the better school is and who will represent that conference in the NCAA National Championship Tournament. And I love to talk about, in my personal time, the University of Hartford Hawks. That is my alma mater. That is a school I still watch from time and again, when I have the time, when I see fit. And quite frankly, it's not that great. I'm from a semi-large town where sports was incredibly huge in high school, so basketball's really good, football's really good. So I've been spoiled by winning. So I'm used to hearing a certain school or a school I'm affiliated with win games, win championships. So that's what I'm used to. Going to the University of Hartford, I was unaware that they didn't really win. In fact, zero conference championships. So in my 4 years there, I was a sports reporter, and this is just a quick background. And I covered the Hartford Hawks, and boy, they were better when I was in school, because I guess they listened to me. But yesterday they played Albany, and Hartford was kind of a big deal last year around this time because they played that same school, Albany, in the quarterfinals, the first round of the America East Conference Championship. The America East is the conference that is affiliated with Hartford and in all their sports. And Hartford pulled off a major upset in the first round of the conference championship. Now, we all hear about these Cinderella stories. This isn't one of them. It was a first round upset. Second round played Stony Brook. Quite frankly, Stony Brook is a better school than Albany. And yesterday, I was at Dave & Buster's with my familia, and I remembered, oh snap, Hartford is playing Albany in the first round of this year's conference championship. I said, holy crap, let me check the score. Mind you, it was around 7:45, 7:40, so the game had literally just started. It was scheduled, tip-off was scheduled for 7:30. And boy, I checked that score. That was the score 20-something to like 2. So immediately it was done. And my biggest complaint with this program and many programs across the country is that recruiting isn't, like, outside of the major conferences like the SEC, the Big 12, the Pac-12, excuse me, what was used to be the Big East, and all these major schools like Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, big schools, recruit 5-star recruits. But I always wondered what happened to like the 3-star, 4-star, even 2-star recruits that have talent but obviously aren't going to NBA level. Now, in my town, there used to be a school that had a football program. And that football program, while it wasn't a Division I, I believe it was Division I, that football program wasn't great. There was one really good player, but the team would never win games. And if you're from the United States of America, you would know that winning is basically everything. If you don't get your job done, you get fired. If you don't win games, you lose your program. You lose scholarships. And that's what happened. That is exactly what happened with the school in my town, where the football program did not win any games, and the program got cut. It went I think 2 or 3 years without winning a single game, which is really hard to do. Like, imagine playing a game for a week straight. Like, just playing a video game, and throughout that entire week, you have zero enjoyment. Now, I'm not talking like, I like this part, or the graphics are fine, or the controls are good, gameplay's good. I'm talking zero enjoyment. Like, everything sucks. Everything about the game sucks. You would not play that game. I'm exaggerating it by saying a week, but let's be honest. You're not going to touch that game ever again after a day, an hour of playing it. So, realistically, that's what would happen. Now, going back to the school in my town, and my whole point with this is I've always been very critical of my alma mater's basketball program, men's basketball program in particular, because the women's basketball program, every other program could at least win games, have a regular season title, actually, get a ring. They would represent the school in either soccer or track and field, and they would actually be successful. But for whatever reason, men's basketball has always been abysmal, horrendous. And when you look at the comparison between men and women's basketball, and we all know women's basketball is not the most popular right now, especially with what's been going on in the WNBA, and I'll get into that later. This topic I forgot to mention. So, looking at it's just my school in particular, the women's basketball program went on a 10-year run where they were just the talk of the state, talk of Connecticut. Women's basketball at Hartford winning all these games, 20 games, winning a championship, going to the Sweet 16 in the women's basketball tournament. NCAA. Yes, my school represented our conference and was in the national tournament and was almost a Cinderella story by making it to Sweet 16 to ultimately get eliminated by LSU. But when you look at that and you really look at the recruiting, the coaching, and everything that's been going on with the women's basketball program, and yeah, they're in a bit of a rebuilding stage because the coach that got them to that level decided to go to greener pastures and to a different school. So when you look at that, I'm going to mention a name, John Gallagher. Now, John Gallagher is a man who he has a basketball IQ. He has a decent basketball IQ. And when you really look at him and have a conversation with him in basketball and talking about different matchups and stuff of that nature, then you really see, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. However, he was a replacement coach. It was his first year when I was a freshman, and he started off, okay, this is the previous coach's kids. Excuse me. This is the previous regime's kids that he recruited. He built this team, so I'm just going to try to win as many games as I can. And then in a year or two, I'll recruit my guys. It's the same way in every sport with a new head coach in the NFL, new head coach in a NBA, any sport. They want to get rid of the guys from the previous regime, bring their guys in, and win with their guys. So it's really interesting because my freshman year we hosted the America East championship game. So it was in our campus. The tournament was on our campus. So every school played on our campus, basically. As I become redundant in repeating my words. Now, Hartford made it past to the second round, the semifinals, and they were going to play Stony Brook. I believe either it was Stony Brook or no, it was Vermont. I forget the school we played. But we were playing the school, and the school was really good because the top three team, the three-headed horse of the America East is Vermont, Albany, and Stony Brook. Those are the three teams that always made it to the top. That always represented the America East in the NCAA championship tournament. And this one year, Hartford pulled off an upset, like the upset I mentioned earlier with Albany last year. And it was insane. Everyone lost their minds. The students stormed the court. There was school spirit everywhere. And you really thought to yourself, wow, they got something going over here. The following year, Hartford wins 17 games. They tied the school record for most wins. Now you think 17 games, that's like middle of the pack, not that great. The really good schools get 20 plus wins on the season. But this is no big school. This is Hartford, not really known for their sports, known more for academics, which I think is not a great excuse for not putting out a good product. But that's I'll get into that later. So the school goes on to win 17 games, 16 games, and you think, oh boy, they got something going. All of a sudden, NBA scouts are coming in. Hey, let's check out these Hartford kids. They may have some talent. They're winning games. They have never gotten this much success before. This kid, Mark Nwakama, dude from Texas, he's balling out. He's the star of the team. He's the forward. He's the face. He's the forward that's going to bring Hartford to the glory house. They're going to be glorious with Mark Nwakama. NBA scouts come, and then once this all starts happening, the school and the athletic department decides to give the head coach, John Gallagher, a huge extension. I believe it was 5-6 years worth of an extension. And at that point, I said, yeah, he's doing good, but 17, 16 wins, no conference championship, no appearance in the conference championship game. It was either a first or second round dismissal. And if you guys watch NBA, like I know you guys do, you know those teams that are always right there, either a quick first round exit or a second round exit, always need more improvement. But the more you watch this Hartford program, they just kept. It looked like they plateaued with that 17 win season. The season where the students stormed the court, that was where they peaked, and then they just plateaued and then went down. Because what happened afterwards, after that extension, is someone in control of the men's basketball program decided that it was a bright idea to not recruit as much in the States and to start recruiting internationally. Because if you watch the NBA, everyone's starting to go to Europe. Everyone's getting all these players for Europe. Kristaps Porzingis is the big player. Rudy Gobert. All these guys. Freaking Manu Ginobili was from Argentina. All these international players, and the NBA is starting to fall in love with international players. International players are the future. So then what happened? Well, they start going to Australia. All right. The Hartford Hawks, University of Hartford, start playing games in Australia in the off season. Oh well, if we play these professional teams, these guys are going to be battle tested. They're going to be prepared for college basketball. This is great preseason vacation basketball playing. They can hang out with. If they can hang with these Australian teams, they can hang with the best of them, the America East. And to that I said, no the hell they can't. Because if you put a team, and you see this in the NBA preseason, and you see this in the Olympics, there are different styles of play. They play the same sport, but it's different styles of play. That's like saying, let's take half of the teams from Major League Soccer, sending them over to Spain, have them play in La Liga, have them play Barcelona, get blown out by Barcelona and Real Madrid. But see, this is perfect experience for these teams. These teams can hang with the Barcelonas and the Real Madrids. They can hang with anyone in the MLS. No, they can't. Because they're different styles of play. That's why it's so much fun to see in the World Cup those two different styles of play go on to each other. Now you're saying, all right, you just proved yourself wrong. But no, listen, hear me out. You can't send a college basketball program overseas to play other college basketball programs in those countries because they play a different style. If you are a fast-paced, go for the three-pointer, don't perimeter play all around, you can't go to an Australian team that have bigs and play inside the paint, consistently focus on rebounding, because one, it's polar opposites. Especially if you're trying to win in a conference where all you guys do, and I'm talking in general, talking in general of all America East teams, where you guys all run fast breaks, hit the three-pointer. And as a student, while I was watching this, and now as I'm an adult looking back, I watch this and I say, Hartford or any other team would be really good if they got a big to dominate the paint. Coincidentally, when when Hartford was at its highest, at its most successful, that's what happened. They were able to get a big to just control the paint, box everyone out. The problem was he only had one big. See, I love basketball. Basketball was the first. Baseball and basketball were the first sports I fell in love with. I was a Knicks fan from 2000. I was a baseball fan since I was 5 years old. I played Little League. I was a shortstop. I was a guard in elementary school and middle school. So, when you really think about that, when you're a sports nut like me, when you're the Latino nerd, who not only is a nerd in gaming, but a nerd in sports, you really think, okay, you look at these games differently. You look at these games differently because now it's like, okay, and it happens with every fan. Every fan of every video game. Every fan of every sport. Every fan of every movie. Hell, you see it right now with DC Comics in their cinematic universe. Fans are just going on, well, if I was in charge, I'd do this differently. And I don't mean to be that guy. I don't mean to be a dick. But if I was taking the Phil Jackson role at the University of Hartford, after seeing them lose yesterday, March 1st, 2016, to March 1st, 2017. If I was the president of the men's basketball operations, this is what I would do. One, I'd find every way possible to fire John Gallagher. Because yesterday, I was telling you the story about their whole peak and how they just plateaued and just went downhill. Because yesterday, they went 9-22 overall in the season, 4-12 in conference play. You're not going to keep this guy after the extension. I wouldn't. You know what happened in the NFL to all those teams that went 4-12, 2-14, 1-15, 5-11? You know what happens to those coaches, those general managers? They get fired. You know what happens to those programs where they don't win? They don't win on a consistent basis. They don't even get to the minimalistic win total that the alumni and the department sees them winning. You know what happens to those coaches? You know what happens to those people in charge? They get fired. You cannot give a head coach who had 2 winning seasons that were 500 or more, or slightly under 500, and just say, listen, you just tied the school record for most wins. Here's a 5-6 year extension. You can't do that. Because then what happens? Then stuff like last night happens. You lose 100-71 to a school that you beat last year. And when you watch the press conference, it's all, well, we got hit with the injury bug early. We just didn't make shots. In the game of basketball, you got to make some shots. When you don't make those shots, it makes a hell of a difference. Yeah, and if you don't drink water, you'll be thirsty. If I go out the entire day without sipping water, I am going to be thirsty. And that is just a common fact of life. If you don't make your shots, you're not going to win the game, of course. But then, this is what I would do. This is what I used to do when I was in school. Because every game they lost, I would hear Coach John Gallagher, the rest of the team, the rest of the players, and these are my peers. They are not 3, 4, 5, 6 years older than me. Or younger. These are my peers. I see these dudes in class. I see them in the cafeteria getting food. I walk by them in the hallway. I walk by them when walking to class. I sit next to them in the cafeteria. These are my peers. Even though they're student athletes, they're still students. Even if they could be the number 1 recruit in the whole country, they're still my equal. Because they're still going to that school, either paying tuition or being there on scholarship for a free ride. They are still a student first and then an athlete. Whether you go to Duke or Kansas, doesn't matter. So in this press conference, after a horrible loss like last night's against Albany, like any loss against Stony Brook, and this is just me, hey Devontae, what's up? And this is just me going on a rant about my college, my school, and their men's basketball program, because it is utterly ridiculous that this happens. They say, why did you lose? The first thing they say, well, the game basketball, when you don't make your shots, you can't win the game. Well, no shit. Students, they just got on a run early on, we just couldn't catch up. We kept missing shots. We couldn't do anything. Yeah. No fucking, we saw that. But then I would say, well, you got out rebounded 30-10. How do you respond to that? Well, we got out rebounded because we got more fast break points, but you still lost by 15. Don't you think rebounding has a lot to do with why you lost? Yeah, we're winning. And there was one year, and I had a sit-down interview with the head coach, and I said to him, you guys are one of the worst rebounding teams, not only in the country, but in the conference. Well, we lead the conference in steals. We're 20th in the country in turnover differential. And then I said, okay, what about your mid-range to paint points in the paint? How do you improve that? Well, we're really good on the perimeter, 39% from three. That's helped us out a lot. These guys, they work hard. They work hard in their game. And I looked at him and I said, okay, all right. The interview went fine. But I told him off the record, listen, you guys got to win some fucking games. I didn't say, I didn't curse, but I said, you guys got to win some games. Because I'm looking at your stats, I'm looking at your players' averages, and you ain't looking at no 12-win season, 15-win season. I always thought my school had the potential to go to 20 wins. If they did a few things. One, they stopped recruiting internationally. Because it's nice to have international players, international students come by, but when you don't even recruit well internationally, when you have bigs coming in from Australia that don't even know how to properly rebound, how to properly box out, how to properly put back layups, come on, man. Come on. What is the one thing everyone says about the Golden State Warriors right now? They're one of the best perimeter teams in the NBA. No one can stop them from three. What happens every time they lose? Oh, DeMarcus Cousins went for 30. All 25 points were from inside the paint. They don't have any bigs. They don't have a bench. Hartford is an elite school. They're not going to get a 5-star, 4-star recruit. They're going to get a 1-star, 2-star recruit. 3-star at the most. That would be their 5-star, getting a 3-star recruit. And I'm not talking, I'm using Hartford as an example to all these mid-major schools. Because I live in a town where schools like Manhattan, Iona, who else? There was another school I'm thinking, VCU. Those schools are looked up to, and they're like, how the heck are these no-name schools winning 20-plus games and making it to the NCAA tournament? Never mind that they get knocked out in the first round. Never mind that. But how do these no-name schools that no one's ever heard of make it to the NCAA tournament, could possibly be a Cinderella story, make it to that level? This is how. I mentioned earlier, the America East, every school in there is basically predicated on three-point shooting and an up-tempo offense. Defense, not really an issue. Protecting the paint, who cares? Rebounding, just smack it out. Do a Tyson Chandler thing. Smack it out behind you. Hope one of your teammates get it. And that's the problem with March Madness right now. That's why March Madness right now doesn't have a lot of Cinderella stories. Because outside of the big name schools, Kentucky, Duke, Syracuse, Kansas, Michigan State, those schools, they can recruit. And you don't need a 5 or 4-star recruit to be a good program. Look at Joel Embiid. He was injury prone. But you know what? And I'm not talking injury prone in NBA. I'm talking injury prone in college. College. And what happens? Do you think his school suffered? No. They kept fighting. They recruited well. Not well to the point where it's all based around one aspect of basketball, one player. I would, if I was in charge of Hartford and their men's basketball program in specific, I recruit more big men. I would probably recruit 2 big men that all they know is how to rebound and how to play defense. Then I would go out and recruit some wings that just know how to play defense. You can lay it in. I would fire head coach John Gallagher because, quite frankly, what have you done for me lately? Because, realistically, what have you done for me lately? Anton Goff was the head of, he was the director of athletics. He was the AD, athletic director. And now he's gone to a different school. This was the first year this was his last. Changed everything about the school. Everything. Changed the logos, changed the court, changed the whole demeanor. Even brought in a damn hashtag. Hashtag Hawk Nation Domination. And he walks out to go to St. John's. You want to know why he went to St. John's? Because St. John's knows how to recruit. They can actually win. They can get him rings. They can get him multiple rings. Not from just one sport, but from many sports. Anton Goff, yeah, he got some rings with soccer. He got some with all sorts of sports. But when it came to men's basketball, which was the one sport he really wanted. He wanted ESPN out here covering Hartford games. That's what he wanted. That was his goal. Bring ESPN over. Get Hartford Hawks men's basketball some national coverage. And they did. They did for a short period of time. Even if it was glimpses. Even if those guys over at Bristol, Connecticut, just like, oh, have you seen Hartford just pulled off an upset on Albany? Yeah. But at the end of the day, an upset doesn't mean jack shit if you don't make it to the championship or win the conference championship. Athletics in college is a very difficult thing to maintain. Right now, Hartford Hawks men's basketball is tough. And you know that saying that people say, especially now with the Magic Johnson joining the Lakers. Oh, what does he know about running a basketball team? He was never a general manager. He never worked in the front office. You know what he did? He surrounded himself with basketball people. And that's the problem. Everyone's so excited about the rebranding. You look at a Hartford Hawks game, every single game this year, empty. You look at Florida Gulf Coast. For a good 2 years, they were Lob City. Good 2 years. All they did was lob it up. Did anyone hear about Florida Gulf Coast before they started lobbing? Before they threw down dunks? Did anyone even give a crap about Florida Gulf Coast before they started going on the scene? They were on the scene during their conference championship. Because guess what? Every conference championship is covered by a major network. CBS, TNT, ESPN, you name it. Fox Sports. Every single conference championship tournament, whether it's major, mid-major, is covered by a major network. So when you do stuff like Florida Gulf Coast did, it's going to get noticed. You keep doing it and you win. That's the most important thing. If you win while doing those things, then you're going to get recognition. And that's what Anton Goff saw that. I saw that. Then Anton Goff started pulling some strings. All right, listen, ESPN, listen. We've been winning some games. Men's basketball has been winning games. They got a lot of potential here. They want to strike a deal, so ESPN said, all right, we'll strike you a deal. We'll put you on our Watch ESPN app. All the games will be on ESPN 3. All right, awesome. Hartford Hawks this year, in this basketball season, was in the ESPN tip-off madness. They were the first game. I believe the game was either at 6 or 7 a.m. Really early in the morning. Place was packed. Everyone was there because it was the beginning of the season, you know? Everyone was there. Oh, ESPN's covering. Oh, man. We're going to be on national TV, ESPN 2. Oh, boy. Hartford making it big. Lose to Florida Gulf Coast. At home. It's all good, though. We made it on ESPN. The season going to be good. Loses six of the first 7 games. Oh man, no, it's all good. We gonna bounce back. It's just non-conference. Starts off the season with lose 8 of their first 9 conference games. You can't get national attention, then expect to just have a winky-dink all season. You can't. At one point, injuries can't be enough. Maybe maybe when you're a team like Golden State, where you invest all this money in a certain superstar, and then you can't retain certain players, so you can. Okay, we have a weakness. It's the bench, but we have 3 MVP candidates on our team. We have 4 All-Stars. We have 2 MVPs. I'm sorry, I know I said 3, but they got 2 MVPs. They got a Coach of the Year head coach. So, at one point, injuries can't be enough. So, what I would do is I would stop going internationally to Australia, Europe, and get these players. You know what happens? You know what kind of basketball players go to Europe or any of these other countries that's not the U.S. to play basketball? Washed up. Stephon Marbury may be playing Hall of Fame great in China, but you bring him back to the NBA, he ain't gonna be like that. He ain't gonna be no national hero. Guaranteed. Look at what's his name? Not Jimmer Fredette, killing it over in Europe, in China, Asia. Wants to come back in the NBA. Why? Because that's no man's land. That's Death Valley for NBA stars. Yeah, it'd be great to get international recognition, but you gotta be great in your country first. You can't be great. You can't be the San Antonio Spurs, world known throughout about their winning without winning. You can't be LeBron James, best player in the world, without winning championships. So, if I was Hartford, seek my advice. If you're listening, Hartford, I'm sorry that one of your students had to do this to you, but you need a clean house. Hell, hire me. I already got 5 people in mind I would hire as head coach, top recruiter. Listen, all you have to do is just find. I can give you places in the country where there's real basketball talent that are going to Division 2 and 3 schools. Real basketball talent going to Division 2 and 3 schools. You're Division 1, and you can't land these players? These players dropping 20, 30 points per game in Division 2. Yeah, well, they're students first, they're athletes second. Yeah, I know, I said it. But when you're Division 1, come on now. And then you wonder, these schools wonder why no one shows up to their games when they lose 20, 25 games every year. I wonder why. Have you seen Cleveland Browns Stadium this year? They were going 0 for 10, over 12. No one showed up. No one shows up when you lose. No one. People only show up when you're winning. When you are winning games, that's when people will come and support. When you are winning basketball games, you will fill the crowd. You will have the school spirit. Only then. That was my spiel on my school. Whew. Gotta move on. Spent damn near 40 minutes on my own school. Hartford, I'm sorry, I love you. But can't. I can't with your decisions right now. So let's do this. DC. The DC Cinematic Universe. Oh boy. So, Zack Snyder released a little footage. Ha! A little bit of a footage, huh? It was test footage, because, DC loves to release test footage. And it was a bit of Aquaman. Which is strange, because last I heard, Zack Snyder ain't doing Aquaman. Now, unless, last I recall, James Wan was doing Aquaman. So Zack Snyder releases footage of Aquaman. Now, everyone's getting excited because they're like, oh man, Aquaman, he looks fucking dope. Fucking flying around, going up to possibly whoever. Because, DC, they don't know what they're doing. And you get excited at one point. You do get excited. But, quite frankly, when you really think about it, you really think about what's going on over at DC, and you see Zack Snyder releasing this footage of Aquaman. Everyone's like, wow, that looks amazing! It's from Justice League. It's either from Justice League or from the Aquaman movie. And if it's from the Aquaman movie, then that means Zack Snyder is still calling the shots. Because let me recall your memory. Justice League is Zack Snyder's last movie, as far as we know. As far as we know, Zack Snyder is no longer directing films for the DC Cinematic Universe. And I mean, the scene looks great for what it is, but I'm neither excited nor, I don't want to say out of it for this film, but it's not like Zack Snyder is in charge of cinematography of every movie at DC. Because if he was in charge of cinematography and didn't direct, then yeah, DC Cinematic Universe might be a long shot, but I know I'm not excited for Aquaman. I am on the brink of giving up hope for Wonder Woman and Justice League after what's been going on. I really hope Wonder Woman is not what they say, is that an editing disaster. But you know what? I hope Wonder Woman proves them wrong, but then again, I really hope Batman vs Superman is going to be good. I had some hope for Suicide Squad, but quite frankly, this universe is a joke. And I used to be a DC fanboy this time a year ago. I was very excited about Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Very excited. So excited that I started researching the hell out of the movie. What's going on? Who's the main villain going to be? And when I heard it was Doomsday, I was like, that sounds like a guy that's going to unite everyone. Then the end product was not what anyone expected. And everyone hated it. And Suicide Squad looked like a child basically edited everything. And when you hear that 2 editing teams were in charge of making the movie, the script was only written in 6 weeks, then it's just, the whole thing's fucked. It's fucked. I'm sorry to curse, but it's the truth. It's the truth. This universe, it's not, there's no hope for it. There's no hope for this universe. This DC Cinematic Universe is not going to be good. While the trailers we got for Wonder Woman Justice League look good, I'm not excited anymore. If you talk to Jorge, the Latino nerd, in 2016, before he got a PlayStation, actually this would have been when I got a PlayStation 4, but if you talk to him in 2016, and he was all excited about Batman or Superman and everything, I would have told you, no, they're gonna make it right, because Batman is awesome, Superman is awesome, and they're gonna kill it. And now, 2017 Jorge, learning from his mistakes, #mistakes, #mistakes. Learning from my mistakes, I'm not excited anymore. And it sucks because you want these movies to be good. You really do want these movies to be good. You really want Wonder Woman to kick ass. You really want the Justice League to be amazing. After seeing what Marvel can do, but it's mostly like DC looked at Marvel and said, what you can do, I can do better if I just rush everything and fuck everything up. That's what they're doing. And I was very against going by this idea because I thought, no, now Jeff Johns is in charge and things are better. But holy crap, it seems like things are worse. It seems as though that the critical review of both DC movies, and there's only 2 DC movies, but it seems as though from just those 2 films and all the rumors and all the news and all the reports that are coming out from Warner Brothers about directors not wanting to direct The Flash, every director having a creative difference over every movie, Ben Affleck wanting to just give up and leave, Matt Reeves having bipolar decision disorder about wanting to direct the Batman for yet again creative differences in a span of a week, only to just finally at the end of it say, alright, I'll do it. Just shut up. Give me the movie. That's all concerning. It's all concerning to other actors trying to find a gig in this comic book movie world that's making a ton of money. It's bad for directors that are looking for a gig in this comic book movie world. And it's really concerning for everyone at Warner Brothers who see Marvel making all this money and not having any idea on how to do it. Because yes, in a sense, you don't want to do every single thing Marvel does, because then it's going to be like, oh my god, it's Marvel all over again. Where's the creativity? But then you look at Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad. How different are those movies? How different? Batman vs. Superman, dark, gray, gloomy, a lot of narrative, very little action. The 2 main characters don't only fight for 5 minutes, and the whole movie is based on them fighting. The climax was very anticlimactic. And then Suicide Squad, way too colorful. Way too long of introduction of characters. just editing was a little bit messy. Characters, certain characters weren't developed the right way. The narrative was just off the wall bad. It's stuff like that where it's just, you look at those two movies and sure, some people will say, well, we have a small sample size of what DC wants to do, and yeah, this is great. I'm not going through just the movies. I'm going through everything that's reported. Where news of Ben Affleck not wanting to be Batman anymore, not wanting to even direct the Batman movie. Matt Reeves conflicting on whether he wants to direct the Batman movie at all is very concerning. So am I excited for Aquaman after this test footage? No, not. Why would I be? What has DC or Aquaman shown me? And it's funny because you listen to all these reports coming out of Warner Bros. So like, the Green Lantern, there may be a Green Lantern showing up at Justice League. Why tell us? You know what James Gunn is doing right now? Everyone's asking, oh, is Star-Lord's dad gonna be in the next movie? And he just says, watch the trailer, and then watch the movie, and then you tell me. Look at freaking Star Wars. Freaking Josh Gad has been trying to get Ray to just... Daisy Ridley has been consistently harassed by Josh Gad on whether or not, on who is the Last Jedi. And it's fun, it's funny, it's great, it's all a great time. So many people are having fun with it, but nothing's been said about the movie. Warner Brothers and DC are, and I heard something by Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd said something interesting, the radio host on FS1 and iHeartRadio. He said the only reports that are the only reports that come out are the reports that people want reported. So if Colin Kaepernick says I'm no longer going to kneel during the national anthem for the forthcoming seasons, his people are sharing that information to the people that are going to report it, so they can report it, so everyone can talk about it. Marvel isn't going to do that. Marvel's not going to say, well, Darkseid, he might kill Thor in Infinity War. Yeah, Thanos might kill Thor. So, yeah, report that to comicbookmovie.com. You don't see them doing that. But DC is just showing every report. There's a Green Lantern that's going to show up in Justice League. Rumors. Matt Reeves is going to be the new director. We're making a Nightwing movie. And it's just like, DC just wants you to talk. DC is that annoying kid at the party that does ridiculous things just so people can get attention. Just so people can look at him. Just so he can get attention. That's what DC is. They're the annoying kid at the party that does all this ridiculous stuff just so people can look at him. Don't even it doesn't even have to be positive remarks. Just people will need to have a remark about this guy. And then once the party's over, he'll just say, hey, remember the thing I did? That was fun, right? That was fun, right? That was fun. That was fun, right? Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Fun. Then he gets stitched. Because no one wants to hang out with him. That's my whole take on that test footage we saw. Everyone getting excited for a damn test footage. Everyone getting excited over Deathstroke. Well, we needed a test footage to make sure he fits the suit. We just want to make sure that Jason Momoa looked good in this Aquaman suit. That's why we released the footage. It's ridiculous. The Flash isn't being made, everybody. I hope everyone knows this. I need everyone to know this. The Flash isn't being made. It's supposed to come out this time next year. And it hasn't even started filming it. It's having a page 1 rewrite, which basically means DC couldn't find a director that wanted to film a movie written by the people that made the Lego movie. How can you not find a director that can film a movie that the Lego movie people wrote? The people who wrote 21 Jump Street. How? How do you constantly fuck this up? This is a massive fuck up. If anything can bring your hopes down for a DC movie, just look at what's going on with The Flash. Forget that Matt Reeves is inconsistent about filming the Batman. Forget that Ben Affleck doesn't even want to be part of this universe anymore. Forget that Wonder Woman nearly had a pet tiger that talked. Look at The Flash. The Flash was supposed to be a sequel to the Justice League. Now, I don't know if that would have been a good idea or a great idea or whatever, or a horrible idea, but it would have been better than the origin story we got 2 years ago from the CW. And hell, the CW, for all their faults, at least they're consistent about the Flash. Sure, the main villain for 3 seasons straight is a damn speedster, but at least they freaking know what they're doing with the Flash. The only thing people are annoyed about is Iris West. And that's not even bad. That's just normal thing about TV. You like certain characters, you don't like certain characters. That's normal. But no, DC have 2 very good, very proven writers. And they can't find a director. That's like saying your boy sets you up with a really good looking girl and he tells you, listen, she's really into you. All you have to do is talk to her. I already set you up. I already told her everything about you. You just have to go, introduce yourself, talk to her, and she's all yours. How can you fuck that up? Tell me. Tell me how you can fuck that up. DC has no idea what they're doing, and it's so infuriating. So infuriating. Because at one point, I was just like, Batman or Superman, we can live with that. We got rid of that. We went through Death of Superman. I might be able to live with that, Unless you were fully on the 90s, the whole comic series wasn't that great. Guy Gardner was in it for some reason. They had a big rivalry. But, it's just... It's not looking good, guys. DC's about to just say rest in peace. And I read this the other day, and I didn't realize this at the time. But Marvel took a good, 4, 5, 6 years in planning this entire cinematic universe. They said, alright, we're going to start with Iron Man. And then we're going to do a whole post-credit sequence where Nick Fury is introduced. And then that's going to lead into the Incredible Hulk. And then Captain America. And then we're going to have the Avengers. And then we're going to have Thor before the Avengers. And then we're going to have the Avengers. And after the Avengers, we're going to have an Iron Man sequel. And then after that, we're going to have a Captain America sequel. And then they planned this out. For years, they planned this out. They were planning on having a Black Panther. They had a backup plan in case all this failed. DC only had 1 year in between The Dark Knight Rises and Man of Steel. Mind you, Man of Steel wasn't even going to be part... Man of Steel wasn't even supposed to start a DC cinematic universe. Man of Steel wasn't even supposed to start some sort of cinematic universe thing. In fact, if I remember correctly, Man of Steel was supposed to be in the same world as Christopher Nolan's universe. So they just said, "Oh, hey guys, Marvel's making money, guys. We should be making money too. Let's just fuck it. And it's sad, because I really like Henry Cavill as Superman. Ben Affleck was decent at Batman. Gal Gadot looks like she's an incredible Wonder Woman. But I'm telling you, maybe after this year, maybe after next year, this DC Cinematic Universe is gonna die. It's gonna be a very painful death. I don't know about slow, but it's gonna be very painful. It's gonna be painful to watch, painful to endure, and it's gonna die. And what DC needs to do what DC and Warner Brothers need to do after this cinematic universe flops and fails worse than LeBron taking a foul is take 10 years. Everyone says 5. No, 10 years. 10 years to properly plan this out. 10 years. Because that's how long it's going to take for one, everyone to get this disgusting taste out of our mouths. That is the DC Cinematic Universe. 2, to have directors even want to direct these movies. And 3, actors wanting to play these characters. Because no one's going to want to do it after this thing flops. You can't wait a few years and then everyone's going to say, oh yeah, we're rebooting the whole thing. Okay, yeah, come back. New actors, new directors, everything. Can't. Some DC fans say, oh, well, Marvel always controls everything. They don't let their directors have free reign, blah, blah, blah. DC is always in control. Fox always intervenes. Guess who had full reign on Batman vs. Superman? Zack Snyder. Look how that turned out. David Ayer was rushed. This whole thing's a mess. And now my anger transitions into Fastlane. WWE Fastlane is this Sunday. Oh boy. Alright. Oh, crap. Fastlane is this Sunday, guys. Oh, the Raw exclusive pay-per-view before WrestleMania. This is going to be good, I hope. Alright. Got a stacked card. Stacked. Alright. Strange how the Cruiserweights are still on Raw, yet 205 Live is filmed after SmackDown. Strange how there was a contract signing for Neville versus Jack Gallagher, and a lot of people were just behind Neville. To be quite frank with you guys, no one gives a shit about the Cruiserweights anymore. That's just my honest opinion. That's mean, Jorge. Come on, Latino. What are you doing, man? That's very rude. I mean, what else do you want? Brian Kendrick was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to bring the Cruiserweights on another level. I don't know what's going on. In theory, Raw would be perfect for the Cruiserweights. Especially since they have 3 hours. So you have 2 hours of Raw, 1 hour of the Cruiserweights. You want to do the first hour, get people into the show. Get people tuning in. Second hour, do Cruiserweights. Get the storylines, get people involved in storylines. Problem is, I guess, the dependence on the WWE Network is not the same as people watching on TV. And that's just me previewing the kickoff match. Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa versus the Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar. You know who's gonna win. I say Kendrick and Noam Dar. There's no damn drinking rules. I'm just giving you my predictions. It should be a good pay-per-view, guys. It should be. It should be a really good pay-per-view. But kickoff match is exactly what it is. It's a kickoff match. It's not going to get people excited. People are still going to be they're either getting food, getting beer, getting drinks, getting to their seats, getting accustomed to everything, and then everyone's just going to sit down and just be bored watching cruiserweights. The first match of the night, though, is going to be Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Now, I'm really disappointed with Nia Jax. Not the character, not the person Nia Jax, but the whole her whole build towards this. I was really expecting. Now, the whole thing with the bigger athlete in the WWE, I don't mean bigger by muscular, I mean bigger as in, a little weight on them, is that when you portray them as undefeated, and then you hand them a person like Alicia Fox, no one's going to give a shit. If you wanted Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax, Nia Jax, not Nia. One, you could have had the whole Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks storyline, and I think this is what happened. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte storyline was going on. Then they were going back and forth with the championship, but Nia Jax was at the same time being undefeated, defeating Alicia Fox. So what I would have done. And I believe they did this, but it was very poorly executed, with Nia Jax demanding a shot at the championship. And it's so sad, because Nia Jax was amazing in NXT. And you look at all these characters, all these superstars were amazing and developmental. They come up and they just bleh, don't do anything. So I think Sasha Banks is going to beat Nia Jax. They're most likely going to go for a Sasha Charlotte WrestleMania match. Or they're going to have Bayley versus Charlotte and Sasha in a triple threat. Who knows? I doubt Nia Jax is going to get a shot at the championship, though. But that's my prediction on that match. The Raw Tag Team Championship match coming up. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, who finally won the championship. I've been waiting for them to win the championship all those weeks ago. Are going to defend it against Enzo Amore and Big Cass. And I think it's way overdue that Enzo Amore and Big Cass get a shot at the Tag Team Championships. But I don't see them winning it here. I can see Enzo Amore and Big Cass winning it at WrestleMania against the same team. I don't see them winning here. I think what's going to happen is that Gallows and Anderson are going to win via shenanigans. They're going to cheat to win. Enzo Amore and Big Cass are going to be very furious. Going to go up to Stephanie McMahon or Mick Foley. And you'll be like, hey, you should have, we deserve the win, blah, blah, blah. Hey, give us a championship match. And then we're going to have a WrestleMania rematch. But I do believe Gallows and Anderson are going to retain. Because I don't see the point in if you really want Enzo Amore and Big Cass to be the tag team champions, you don't give it to them on your Raw exclusive pay-per-view with WrestleMania right around the corner. What you do is you have them lose via shenanigans and have them win at WrestleMania so they have the WrestleMania moment. Unless you want Gallows and Anderson to have the WrestleMania moment, then you can screw that up as much as you want, WWE. But I have Gallows and Anderson in that match. They retain. Moving on. Cruiserweight Championship match. The match is going to put everyone to sleep. Only for former TNA stars to wake them right back up. Neville, the champion, against Jack Gallagher, the perfect gentleman. I don't see how Neville's the heel in this. His character is he is a heel, but the fans fucking love him. And I don't see how he's gonna I don't see how Neville's just gonna like come out and not do some high flying moves. I mean, he's not supposed to because he's a heel, so he shouldn't excite the fans. He's been great as a heel champion. But again, I think what's gonna happen is Neville and Gallagher are gonna have a great match, but Neville is gonna unless they really like Jack Gallagher, and I know they have. I believe Jack Gallagher has a match in NXT. Somewhere has a match against that UK champion. But you know what? I'm gonna throw a curveball. I think Jack Gallagher might win. Put some heat on Neville. Why not? That's my wild card. Jack Gallagher wins the Cruiserweight Championship. Next up, some Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. Boy, I would never have thought Samoa Joe would be in a WWE ring. After seeing him in TNA for so long, but TNA is worse than Hartford in messing up. Samoa Joe's gonna win, I think. Get him some build towards WrestleMania, and I think this may or may not be a rematch at WrestleMania. Who knows? Roman Reigns against Braun Strowman. It all depends on who Vince wants to be over, because no one likes Roman Reigns. Everyone hates Roman Reigns still. At this point, I say, why do you hate Roman Reigns? Hashtag, what would be the hashtag here? Hashtag, don't hate. I'm not going to try a hashtag right now, but Roman Reigns, man, I'm not going to say he's gotten better, because he hasn't. He's still the same old Roman. But at this point, why are you booing him? You know? I understand at the Rumble he was number 31, 32. And everyone hated him because they wanted a surprise entrant. After, Triple H was a surprise entrant last year, 2 years ago, excuse me. Or last year. It was last year, sorry. But, everyone hated Roman Reigns last year, and it was because he wanted the championship, and now he doesn't even have the United States Championship. So I don't know. Braun Strowman might win, but if we're being realistic, Roman Reigns is Vince's guy, so Roman Reigns might get the win, and then I guess we'll have a rematch on Raw for like a #1 contendership or something like that. But Roman Reigns is. I'm picking Roman Reigns to defeat Braun Strowman, because I don't see how Vince can go against his guy. They may have Braun Strowman picked as of today, Thursday, March 2nd, but come Sunday, Vince is gonna pull that trigger and be like, hey, no, Roman's gonna win. Roman. Raw Women's Championship match. Bayley defending against Charlotte Flair. Ugh. They really made it a thing about Charlotte's undefeated streak at pay-per-views, where she always wins in the pay-per-view. But if they're going to do that, if they're going that route, then they're going to have, especially if they want Bayley to be the star, they might have Bayley lose today and then have her win it again at WrestleMania. Because for as much as we've been watching WWE, we know that the Women's Championship has been hopping. The Raw Women's Championship, excuse me, that's been a game of hot potato between every woman wrestler, woman superstar in that brand. And if they're going to give it to Flair just to give it to Bayley at WrestleMania, then I think that would actually be the better story about Charlotte losing her undefeated pay-per-view streak. And finally, Kevin Owens against Goldberg. There's been rumors about Goldberg and Lesnar being for the championship. I don't think that would be a very good idea. However, I have a brain. WWE does not. So I think what's going to happen is that Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are going to get into a little fit before the match. Chris Jericho is going to do something where it's going to be like the countdown clock. And it's going to be break the wall. And then Kevin Owens is going to get distracted. Goldberg goes in for the spear, get the W, and win the championship. And then it's going to be a whole build for Goldberg versus Lesnar at WrestleMania. And then Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho, assuming for the United States Championship. I don't know why, but or it could just be a singles match. Who knows? The United States Championship has really been a forgotten title. Just kind of sad because a lot of people, a lot of good superstars have held on to that title. My whole expectation for this pay-per-view, it'll be decent. Hashtag decent Fastlane. It's not going to be exciting. It's not going to be anything new. The time for debuts, I feel, has come and gone. It's just now going to be about setting up the WrestleMania rivalries. And, yeah, setting it up for WrestleMania. That's pretty much what this pay-per-view is for. Starting Raw rivalries for WrestleMania. So we're probably going to end the night, if my prediction is correct and Goldberg wins the title, going to end the night with Lesnar and Goldberg being face-to-face, or Lesnar's going to be at the ramp, and Goldberg's going to be in the ring with holding his newly won championship. And, yeah. It's going to be an okay pay-per-view. I have no complaints if it's okay or not. Oh, well. Alright, guys. That is it for me today. Thank you so much for sticking with me this entire time. I am the Latino Nerd. I hope I hear from you guys soon again. I will try to be more consistent with these podcasts. As far as gaming streams go, I've yet to find a game that I want to stream. So I will let you guys know when that happens. I was going to live stream 2K17, but there's a big problem with music, and that music is played a lot throughout the game. So I'm right now in the process of purchasing an Elgato. So live streams may not come by as frequently as they used to, but we're definitely going to have a lot more videos of just gaming videos. I'll try to figure out a game to stream for you guys. But other than that, I had a lot of fun with this podcast. I'm having a lot of fun with making these podcasts. But you know, it is the end of the day for me, so I will let you guys go. Have a great Thursday and have a great weekend, guys. I'm the Latino Nerd. This has been the Latino Connection. I'll connect with you next time.